I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. It's too easy. I've been there, done it, seen it. Boy, all that like Kenny. Still got crack, they fiendin'. Flow still hot like Phoenix. Shine so bright, I'm gleaming. This off top, I'm tweaking. Fresh out the rat like me. And I'm still tryna fight my demons. Cause we all gotta act like Tina. That's why I gotta ride with the Nina. Outside, it's a war going on. Maybe put my hands on my head like the Macarena. They want you walking on board like Tina. Ain't give a F to you like John Cena. Putting blood on the brand new Beamer. Tryna earn they stripes like Adidas. You get cold when you ride with the heater. It'll turn you to a dog like a Keto. And exposed to a cat like a cheetah. They smoke my partner like reefer. Dímelo porque o no entiendo. Mi gente must really need Jesus. They shed real blood. I never seen the crypt and I believe it. It's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy.
What's going on, Karma Nation? You're probably asking yourself a handful of things right now. One of them, what the heck is the WAG show? I haven't heard about it before. Well, as you can see in the title of this baby, it's episode numero uno. This is a brand new show concept, and I'm going to explain how it's going to work here for this show, for Super Bowl Sunday, and then every day after that. So I came up with the title for the WAG show when I was vacationing in Australia. Apparently a term they use a lot when it comes to, I guess, just betting in general, is they say winners are grinners. That's something that's like commonly said over Australian sports bettors. I don't know. So I came back. I was like, you know what? Winners are grinners. It stuck to me. We created it into a title, WAG, Winners are Grinners. So this is the WAG show because winners are grinners. This is what's going to happen every single day of the show, which, as you can see in the bottom right-hand corner, weekdays at 3 p.m. So tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, all the way through Friday, every single week, we're going to be dropping, going over all of the data that is put on the BetKarma app and betkarma.com website. So we're going to go over all the data, all the trends, all the splits, all the projections and the predictions. And then we're going to start bringing up guests one at a time to tout their favorite bet for that day. Because this is a big betting day, Super Bowl Sunday, we got a lot of faces coming up here one at a time to drop their favorite plays. If you already are signed up for BetKarma Premium and you are in the Discord, you've already seen me drop roughly $42,000 of winning screenshots. Well, winning plays that are going to be winning screenshots by the end of the Super Bowl anyway, into our Discord. So if you are tuning in for the very first time for any of our shows and you have no idea about anything BetKarma, you're just tuning in, you follow, you subscribe to the channel, and you're like, okay, I've never even heard of BetKarma. What is BetKarma? Well, BetKarma is your new favorite one-stop shop for sports betting research. No matter what you're doing, whether it's on a traditional sports book or on a prop site like Price Picks or Underdog, you come to BetKarma. Use the research tools, use the predictions that are part of the premium subscription, and then that will help you win way more often than not. So let's go ahead and just pull up some things here real quick. Which screen do I want to do? Let's do this one here. So here is, this is our number one most popular tool on BetKarma. So I'm going to go through the tools. I'm going to show you guys how they work. It's going to take me like 2 minutes, and then we're going to start bringing faces up here to count their favorite plays. So this is the most popular tool on BetKarma by a mile because Price Picks is the most popular player prop app out of all of the ones that particularly only focus on player props. This is called the Price Picks Predictor, and it's part of our premium subscription. As you see, I have the data pulled up here for the Super Bowl. What this does in a nutshell is if you see the column that says projection, that's actually our own proprietary algorithm that is spitting out, this is what this player is going to do for whatever stat it is. So if you see right above the colored columns, you see where it says receiving yards. That receiving yards is the stat. NFL, of course, is the league. So, okay, based on receiving yards alone, our algorithm's saying, Sky Moore is going to get 14.8 receiving yards. Now, what we also do, the line column, that is specific to the offerings of the tool. So if you are looking at the Price Picks Predictor, which we are right now, and you're looking at the line column, that is actually what you can go over under on the app if you pull it up that very second. So we simply take what our machine learning algorithms, our simulations are saying is going to happen. We compare it against what you can actually go over under on. And that's where you see the difference columns to the side of that. We rank them, we sort them, and we color code them by the biggest difference, because of course the biggest difference means the biggest edge. which means those props are more than likely to hit rather than doing one that has almost no difference because there's no edge, there's no point to it. And then, of course, the last line is a sportsbook consensus. That's where you take, FanDuel Sportsbook, DraftKings Sportsbook, all of the most popular sportsbooks, and we just average out what that player prop is across all of them. So I used these tools, primarily these premium tools, to build all of the 5 picks and the 6 picks on Price Picks, Monkey Knife Fight, and Underdog Fantasy. I just mentioned earlier that I dropped, what was it? Actually, I probably can actually pull it up here on the screen. So here's one. Let me see if I can share this tab. Yeah, we can see it on the screen now. Yeah. So here's one of the ones I dropped here. So this is, I'm giving you, for you tuning into episode 1, you guys get a sneak peek. I have not had anybody else that's non-premium see this yet. So this is only for the premium people. Because you're tuning in episode 1, you get to see the sneak peek here. So this is a 6 pick I did yesterday on Prize Picks. So if all 6 of these hit, I turn $400 into 10,000. So I have Miles Sanders under 66.5 rushing and receiving yards. I know Ben's going to hate that because he's gung-ho on Miles Sanders, not just doing well, but also getting MVP. Juju under 7.5 fantasy score. This morning he was bumped up to 8, so I did it again. I added him in something else because he's even better. McKinnon under 8 fantasy score. Hurts under 288.5 passing plus rushing yards. Jody Forston. This could be my kryptonite. I am very positive this man, he may get I don't think he's going to get a target, but I'm hoping if he gets a target, it's going to be incomplete, so he doesn't get any points. But I'm very, very confident that Jody Forston, the number 3 Kansas City tight end, is not going to get any love the entire Super Bowl. Hopefully, because I have him going under 0.5 fantasy score. I have him getting 0 data. And if he does catch a ball, we hope he fumbles it. And then Patrick Mahomes over 100.5 passer rating. I feel like I'm extremely confident in that one, where no matter what the outcome of the game is, I feel like Mahomes is going to do great. He's hit over 100, I think, in the last 5 or 6 games, probably longer than that. I just looked up to the last 6. And then this was another play that I used. There's a promo on Price Picks where you can go over under half passing yards. It's a free square. You can only do $20 max. So I did kind of that same gist of plays, and then I did the 20 max, so I can get 500 off of that one. Showing you guys the biggest play of what I did. Like I said, I'm going to show these, and then we're going to start bringing people up. Underdog Price Picks' max is $400 on a play. Underdog lets you put 1,000 on a play. And so because I had already used, I think it was $20 for their free square, I could only do, I think it was $980 on a play, which is why you see 5 picks for 19,600. So this essentially is easier to hit because I only need 5 things to go right instead of 6 for Price Picks. But because I put so much more money on it, of course, I get rewarded handsomely with that 20x, 19,600. So for this one, the same thing. I'm going under Miles Sanders. I'm going under Hurts. The line on Hurts is much better on Underdog. And then they let you do these pairing options here. These are called rival picks on Underdog. So I have, if you take the receiving yards of both Kelsey and Goddard, I call him Goddard because it's French. But I feel like a lot of people pronounce that T at the end and it drives me nuts. So anyway, he's going to have 32.5 yards added to his total even before he gets a reception. So if they tie, for example, Dallas wins, which means my pick wins because I have him getting plus 32.5 handicap on that. So I did the same thing with Devonta Smith. I did not pick the handicap, so he's got to outscore fantasy points Juju by more than 4.55 of whatever his score is. And the last rivals play here at the bottom, Tony is going to out-receive Watkins by at least 10.5 yards. So if he gets 11 yards more than him, then of course he's going to win. And I have him getting probably 25, and I have Watkins getting hopefully 0. And then the last one I was going to show you here on our other partner for player props is the Monkey Knife Fight play here. So Monkey Knife Fight is not the most popular. It was when we partnered with them, not the most popular one anymore because they force the plays on you. So what they did is they give me all 6 of these guys, and they said, we're going to 40x your payout, but you have to play these over-unders, and these are the stats you get to pick from, or these are the stats you're forced to choose. So out of the stats they forced to choose, over Mahomes passing yards, less than Hurts, less than Kelsey receiving yards, once again, less than Sanders, still going under Sanders on everything, less than Brown receiving yards, and then more on Devonta Smith receiving yards. Those are the stats. You just had to go over under. You couldn't mix and match like you can in all the other sites. The max buy-in for that is 100, so that's a $4,000 prize pool there. But that being said, these are the tools. Those are the plays, my particular plays for the day, my big hitters that are going to make me pretty good chunk of change. But we have the price picks predictor here. This is the bunky knife fight predictor if you want to play on that site. We have the underdog predictor here. This is the live trends. This is the second most popular tool on the entire app. You can actually see where all of the money's coming in. So as of this second here, it's pretty close. There's no sharp edge on either side. It's not a 50-50 split on everything, but it's really, really close. The biggest difference is that there's much more bet tickets and much more money coming in right here on the Eagles spread than there is anything else. Everything else is kind of a toss-up. I mean, you do see there's a little difference here. The 61% of the money is on the over 51. But that being said, let's start getting some faces up here. Let's start getting some plays. I saw one of the newest faces of Karma, one of the new lead betting analysts for Bet Karma. You saw him on his live show that he did on Friday. I think it was at 5 p.m. So he brought on one of our friends, Brad, from NBC Sports Edge, and they talked about their Super Bowl bets. So let's bring him on here real quick, and let's kind of see which one out of all the ones he mentioned on the show is his favorite one. So let's bring his face up here. Johnny, my guy.
What's up, man? How we doing? Listen, bro, before you answer...
Did you like all that rambling?
Yeah, but before you answer how you're doing, I need that kind of intro for my show. What's going on with that? I mean, that video intro was just, it was electric.
Wait, like, I made the same. That's the same one I made for you. I made the same.
I didn't get it. Not for nothing. I didn't get it. So I think we need to make an adjustment for this upcoming week.
It's right there, and it's in the system. It says BB intro. Did you not use that on the show?
I don't think I had it.
You monster. Well, anyway, but yeah, you got the same background track. You get the same gist. But yeah, how are we doing the Super Bowl Sunday here?
Good, man. I'm excited because there's a lot of good bets, and kind of in years past, I think it's overwhelming because there's thousands of prop bets to choose, and everybody's it's like a kid at a candy store, right? So I think the thing is to remember, you have to take a step back, look at this from like a relaxed and focused approach, because
you know that nobody's focused on. People are pre-gaming at 9 o'clock in the morning, man.
I know, but what I'm saying is there's people that have tendencies of putting in like 20, 30 bets. And yeah, listen, you might come out on top, but I think realistically the better and smarter plays, maybe pick like 5 or 6 bets you really love, and then that's where you focus more of your bankroll on. And I feel like that would be a more successful strategy.
So that's with the prop stuff, like I mentioned, with Prize Picks, Underdog, Monkey Knife Fight, for the ones where you get to pick and choose with Prize Picks and Underdog, I was sitting and just staring at my screen for 3 hours just come up with those 5 or 6. I wanted to make sure that if I'm putting heavy money or max money, the max I can put on this app on these plays, that I was completely in love with every single one. And I mean, it came to the point where I add the 6th play, and then I look at it real quick. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not in love with this 5th one. Take it out. Let me keep it looking. And so I just sat here for 2 to 3 hours, just kept going and going and going. Like, okay, I am in love with these 6. Lock it in. And then this morning on Prize Picks, they did a promo that ended 13 minutes ago from 12 to 3 p.m. They were doing it where the 6 picks, instead of paying out 25x, they paid out 30. And so I threw 4 of the same plays in there, and then I just changed 2 of them for like a hedge. But yeah, 100% make sure that you are in love with it. And as always, I mention, whether you're doing props, daily fantasy, traditional sports betting, only wager what you can afford to lose. Nobody on planet Earth should be posting on Twitter saying, now I can't afford, March's rent or anything like that. If you cannot afford, you have to know that you're lighting money on fire. That's what just gambling is. You're lighting money on fire. And if that doesn't ruin your life, then you're able to put it on sports betting, on props, and on fantasy. If it does ruin your life, if it doesn't work out, then you don't have that ability. Just scale down that bankroll. So that's definitely something we want to touch on is responsible gambling and responsible fantasy sports. Bankroll management. Don't do anything crazy like what Travis did and max play every possible thing on every possible prop partner site. But yeah, so anyway, back to you, Johnny. I know you mentioned a lot of stuff. I want to know your ultimate single favorite bet for the Super Bowl.
Single favorite, gave it out, little TikTok action in a very creative way with my barber. It was one hell of a collab. If you haven't seen it, go on my TikTok
Wait,
at
you collab with your barber? I did
yeah.
not see that. I gotta watch it.
Wait, so my barber has like a really big TikTok following. Like him and his wife, it's like a family TikTok account. It's really crazy, but he also has a separate TikTok for his business. It's called Art of the Gentleman. Plugging my boy Louis Naps. Great haircut. It's not done right now, right? So I have to obviously put some gel in it.
I was
After a
about to say,
shower.
like, you get a haircut, you can't wear a hat on the show. So apparently it didn't
No,
go.
but I'm gonna go in the shower after this. Got my argan oil conditioner. That's one of my favorite things in life than throwing my gel. But so we did a collab, and the single favorite bet,
Yeah.
Devontae Smith over 63.5 receiving yards.
I
now
love the fact that you said that because I have that in one of my big hitters. So
it's since moved up to 65.5 in some places, and
yeah.
the reason is this. So Devontae Smith ending the regular season on the last 6 games had at least 64 receiving yards. He's seen the leading target share for the Eagles in 3 of the last 5 games of the regular season. I think A.J. Brown is going to draw a lot of L'Jarius Sneed coming off of a concussion, who's a big physical corner. Excuse me, with a safety over the top. So I think there's going to be a lot of attention on A.J. Brown because he's a game wrecker. Not that Devontae Smith isn't, but I feel like teams aren't preparing for Devontae Smith like they would A.J. Brown, which is going to leave Smith with a lot more favorable coverages, single coverages like he's had all season long. And Kansas City's a beatable secondary. They are bottom 12 in yak allowed this year. And I think this is something where Smith is going to be able to take advantage if Jalen Hurts can stay healthy and upright in the pocket.
So in terms of game script, that's where I was leaning towards as well, where Smith's going to get they may possibly tie for receptions, maybe targets as well, but Smith's going to get all of the non-touchdown attention. So I feel like it's going to be A.J. Brown getting maybe, I don't know, 50, 60 receiving yards and possibly the touchdown. If either of them get a touchdown, it's going to be A.J. Brown just because he's a giant in the end zone.
So?
If not, I'm not saying that one of the two are going to get a touchdown. If one of them get a touchdown, I think it's A.J. Brown over Smith, but Smith's going to get all of the yards and all of the attention from in between the end zones.
I got an interesting take on this. So if you haven't done your research, Kansas City has allowed the second most touchdowns to wide receivers this year at 20. So my thinking is obviously A.J. Brown's always a threat to score a touchdown. Not saying he can't or won't score a touchdown today, but I think Devontae Smith is so underrated. He's been on kind of a scoring tear. He almost eclipsed 10 touchdowns this year. And I feel like Philadelphia has really found creative ways to get their receivers open, especially if Smith doesn't necessarily have to score from the goal line. Like I could picture Kansas City devoting so much attention to A.J. Brown, leaving Smith one-on-one, and he cooks like Trent McDuffie, the rookie corner. Maybe a 30-yard touchdown. I actually have Smith to score a touchdown. I have a sprinkle on Devontae Smith to score the first touchdown. I have Devontae Smith to score a touchdown to get 90 yards, Travis Kelce to score and get 90 yards, and a 14 parlay. I'm big on Devontae Smith today. I think today he's going to show out. He's been in a situation before in a national championship game that he's capable of stepping up on a big stage. I feel like if one of the receivers for the Eagles blows up, it's going to be Devontae and not A.J. Brown.
Do you think he has MVP bettable options? You think he's going to explode to that point? I mean, he got the Heisman as a receiver. So you think I say the Heisman MVP combo.
I'll tell you my final projection line for Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
6 catches, 95 yards, and a tutty.
Yeah, that's fair. I think what is his reception prop? I think it is at 6, or is it at 5.5 maybe? Somewhere around there. But yeah, that makes all of his overs hit. His over touchdown or anytime touchdown, his over yards, and then I believe 6 would be over. I think most books have 5.5, some might have 6. But yeah, so what do you think is so before we go on to our next speaker, I want to know, what is the dumbest bet that you've seen? In terms of, I mean, not like, I know like people betting on the national anthem, but just a bet that you've seen that people are betting on that you're like, this is the dumbest thing I've seen.
I have 2. One, because like this fake game script leaked, which was funny, and I think it was probably just intended as a joke, where people started hammering like the Eagles win 37-34. If like you've seen it on Twitter, it's like a fake game script from from a computer that was just extremely filthy that looked really professional. And then there was something available offered that you could take both Kelsey brothers to score a touchdown.
It was like plus 20,000.
Yeah, it was 200 to 1. So I think that's crazy. But I'm rooting for Kansas City, to be honest. The only way I'd root for the Eagles is if like it's a really low scoring game or Hassan Reddick can somehow get the Super Bowl MVP. I took a little bit of a sprinkle on him because I think if there's a path that comes to fruition, which there's two, and Reddick could have a big game, which is possible, then I think there's some likelihood that he might be able to get this home.
I think I didn't mention that at any point to stream yet, but if I'm leaning one direction, it's going to be the Eagles solely. I like both teams, and we just want a great game where all of my props hit. That's the ultimate outcome. But if I had to choose a team to win, it would be the Eagles because that would put Bet Karma. We compete in the annual. It's like an expert capper league where all the top brands, all like Yahoo, CBS Sports, all the top sports companies out there that are part of the FSGA. We all like do this futures bet where we pick futures things, and we have a max bet Eagles Super Bowl pick that even if we didn't win any of our other picks in this way this league works, this futures draft, we would easily crush everything. So I'm leaning to that because that's going to give Ben and myself a nice shiny ring to add to our collection. But besides that, definitely need all of the props to hit because that would be an amazing Super Bowl Sunday. So before
now you're gonna make me root against you guys.
You're gonna root against Karma, you monster.
That's really selfish of you that you guys are gonna make me root against Karma with my own personal vested interest in Kansas City.
You're a monster. You're a monster. All right, Johnny. Any last words here before we're gonna bring up AC next because I know he's driving his car and I don't want him crashing and dying, so I want to pull him up as quickly as possible. Any last words for the general population that are tuning in right now?
Yeah, listen, if you like Kansas City to win, take Mahomes at plus 130. He's got about a 97% chance to win the award. Very few scenarios where Kansas City wins and Mahomes doesn't get the MVP. Reference back to 2019 where Mahomes turned the ball over 3 times. Dame Will had over 100 yards rushing, 2 scores, and still didn't win. I think that'd probably be something that I would look at if you really like Kansas City to win this game. But everybody, best of luck. Enjoy Super Bowl Sunday. And we got college baseball next week. Just can't wait for it. I can't wait.
We're going to get your college baseball bets on the WAG show when it airs during college baseball season anyway. So
next week.
Those. Yeah, well, I mean, we're going to be live next week as well. So, yeah. Anyway, appreciate your time, Johnny. Enjoy the rest of your day. And if the Kansas City Chiefs decide to win this game, as long as all of the props hit, I might be fine swapping a FSGA championship ring for $40,000 in prop winning. So I'm fine with that. All right, man. I'll catch you later, buddy. Thanks for tuning in.
All right, have a good one.
All right, so I'm going to bring up AC next, who's, for whatever reason, rocking his shades. Well, it's sunny outside, and he's driving his car, but he looks ridiculous. But let's bring him up anyway. We have to bring him up first so he can say all of this ridiculous nonsense. When I bring up Ben next, we can just make fun of everything that he says. So first is going to be AC here. I see Ben already laughing in the background. He knows what's up. All right. And I see, okay, hold on. His camera's not working now. Anthony, can you hear me? Or as soon as I brought you up, did your camera stop working? All right. So clearly, technology is not his forte. So I think he needs to turn it off and turn it back on like a good old 1920s remedy. And we're going to bring up Ben here real quick. In the meantime, but Anthony, if you still can hear us, you need to shut it off and shut it back on.
Do you remember when he tried to join a Sunday morning DFS stream from his car on not even from his phone,
and he had the windows down and everything. He had his laptop on his lap. He had the windows
use
down.
His laptop in the car
and like a convertible. All you heard was air. Yes, I remember that. All right. So if you guys don't recognize this face, because I know I'm blasting this to a lot of channels who haven't seen this guy before, this is Ben, the VP of content for Karma. He's going to be doing a lot of MLB stuff this season on both sides, and he's definitely doing a ton of NBA stuff already. So even though there were NBA games today, this particular episode is focusing on Super Bowl Sunday. But when you see him hop in on this WAG show Monday through Friday, weekdays, 3 p.m. Eastern time, majority of the stuff he's going to drop is going to be NBA. So if you're an NBA props / betting fan, you definitely want to tune in during the weekdays. Ben, on a scale of 1 to 100, how excited are you for Super Bowl Sunday?
Oh, we're over 100. First of all, I'm taking this hat off. and we're putting the Eagles hat on.
Did you buy
Because
that just because the
no,
championship ring?
I've had this. I want my ring, and the Eagles.
Where is it?
Me personally, Mahomes is great. They can win this because of Mahomes. But me personally, I think that if the Eagles get up early, I think this could be like the Bucks Chiefs Super Bowl. I don't know. I think the Eagles are a much better team top to bottom. And if they're able to run the football, which I expect them to be, I think they're going to win handily. But I mean, Mahomes is amazing. So I won't be shocked if the Chiefs do win.
So we're talking about these rings. I'm gonna pull up here on camera. It's not gonna focus in, but
Yeah.
these are these are literal heavy Trophy Smack design, Trophy Smack approved FSGA rings. We're gonna get another one of these after the Eagles win today, and then we're gonna get another one after we win the fantasy basketball.
Yeah,
we're literally collecting
yeah.
championship rings left and right, and I'm talking
It'll
about
be
we're
one for
versing the
each
best
finger.
of the best. Yeah, we're gonna do that stupid Tom Brady pose.
Yeah, we do the Tom. We'll recreate the
hate
Tom
that.
Brady, gif in like a year or two when we have
All
6.
right, so we can do two things here, Ben, depending on your availability. We can get your favorite bet, and we can bring up AC, who decided that he figured out how technology works. We'll get his play, and then I saw.
You can bring him up and let him give his thing if he's driving. Because I'm not. I'm just sitting
All right, we'll get back to you in a second. Let me bring up AC. Hopefully this works this time. Yay, technology! Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here. I was here the whole time. Come on now.
You were frozen and your camera wasn't working. You filthy liar!
I took my shades off for you, just so you can see my beautiful eyes. Yes, I am driving. I couldn't get out of this time slot of not driving, but I'm happy to be on, Travis.
All right. What is? I know. I mean, you've already dropped a crap ton of teasers and stuff in the Discord. Yeah. So, do you have a number one ultimate bet for the Super Bowl?
Well, first off, I feel the same vibes that Ben has. The Eagles are by far the better team, and in my opinion, it's really not as close, I think, as the spread is. The problem is, I'm having a hard time handicapping the spread, so I really don't have any action on the spread itself. Just because Mahomes, as long as he gets out of the pocket, I mean, he easily can do what he does, right? But my favorite bet, right, one of the reasons why I'm on the show today, without a doubt, is the over of Miles Sanders right now. On DraftKings, you can get him at 59 and a half, I believe, the rushing yards. I really get any news that people have been paying attention the last couple weeks. There's a huge edge as far as CD. It's my favorite.
All right, so your face stopped moving and your audio is cutting in and out. So I feel like you're driving. Well, you're not driving through a tunnel because I can see. But you said Miles Sanders over. Was it combined yards or rushing yards?
Rushing yards, 59 and a half. Is my favorite bet of the slate, no question.
All right.
And then my favorite little two-prong teaser bet is moving the line of the Chiefs to 7.5 and then taking the under the total of 57 and a half. So you move that 6-point teaser. That's kind of my favorite spread-ish bet that I got going so far today.
For that 7-point 2-pick teaser, what are the odds on that? Or the payout odds anyway? I
think it's 110. I think it's 110. I believe it's 110. Again, I'm driving right now, but it's like an even payday. So that's my favorite little 2-prong teaser there. I heard you and Johnny rapping about Devontae Smith. I'm actually a little bit more on AJ Brown. I think he's going to play in the slot. He really hasn't exploded this postseason yet. I really think it's an AJ Brown game to have some small disagreement, but they clearly can both go off. So I'm a little bit heavier on AJ Brown in the DFS landscape today, and also a bunch of those single game parlays. So I'll probably toss a couple of those in our Discord chat here once I get home.
All right. Well, we don't want you dying, so we'll go ahead and wrap it there. I think we got B-Rad up in here, so we'll bring him up, and then we'll bring up Ben after that. Okay. But appreciate you jumping in here, and we'll probably see you some other time later this week on this show.
All right. See you.
Don't crash and die. We'll see you. All right. B-Rad from NBC Sports. As you saw him on the show with Johnny on Friday at 5 p.m. When they talked about the Super Bowl. But let's bring up his beautiful face. What up in the house. So I think before asking and before referencing anything on the show, I'm assuming you're leaning Eagles because you are the biggest Bama fan I've ever met in my life. And that was even before I see you rocking the jersey. I was looking at the camera. So yeah, even before that, it's the biggest Bama fan I've ever met. Is that the case?
That's the case. I wasn't going to bet the game, but I figured I could get pretty good odds, like bet on the side. I figured I could get pretty good odds if I parlayed one of the golfers. So I parlayed Scotty and the Eagles. So I'll be rocking that tonight.
Is that looking good right now? I haven't pulled up PGA standings.
Yeah, he's up 1. Nice. He's up 1 right now with Nick Taylor. I mean, if they go into a playoff, it's I have to imagine that Scotty can take down Nick Taylor in a playoff. So
you just jinxed it. You just jinxed it. All right.
I don't believe in jinxing, man. I bet on sports way too much and talk about sports way too much to be believing in jinx.
But there has to be a reason for your bet not winning, and so jinxing is it can't be unluck. It has to be jinx.
The refs. I blame the refs.
Oh my gosh. So completely unrelated to the Super Bowl or but slightly related to what we were just saying. I think Papa John's is a national pizza brand. I think they're all over the place still. And I don't know if they have these partnerships with all these sports teams across all of the top leagues, but definitely in Florida, they have partnerships with the Heat, the Magic, and the Lightning at least. So every time they win a game, the day after that, you get every regular menu price thing on the menu for 50% off with like a promo code for like Magic Win or Bolts W or Heat Win. And I run the biggest Orlando Magic Facebook group, and everybody. I didn't watch the game. I just tracked the score. Everybody's like, the refs are horrible. The refs are horrible. And I'm like, that Papa John's reached out to the refs and said, ain't nobody getting 50% off on Super Bowl Sunday. And they rigged it. But anyway, that's just what that made me think of. But
the refs were horrible in that game. I had no money on it. I love the Magic. I had no money on it, but I was just so upset. There were so many blown calls at the end. I was like, come on, guys. They should have never even we should have been shooting free throws to go up by 2 possessions. At the end of the game, and they missed the call and they went down and tied it up. That was pretty whack.
I mean, you're going to hear me talk a lot about the Magic because a majority of the WAG show on weekdays after Super Bowl ends here today is going to be heavily focused on basketball, both college and NBA. But for me, I mean, we no matter how much better we get in the next few months, we're not going to win the NBA Finals. And my mindset for every team I'm a fan of, if you can't possibly win the championship, you want the best draft possible. Yeah. I don't understand why people are like, no, we can get the 8th seed, sure, and then get annihilated by the Greek Freak. No, we don't no, I don't want that to happen. So I'm all about I like us getting close, and I know we're talking. This is a Super Bowl show, but I like us getting close, and I like the fact that we're growing, and I like that Buccaro is going to be the rookie of the year and all that good stuff, but we're not there yet, so lose away. Focusing back on the Super Bowl, Mr. B-Rad, your ultimate number 1 favorite bet, and then on top of that, going to what I just was talking about with Johnny earlier, the dumbest thing you see people actually putting money on. That's not not a 50-50 toss up. There's something ridiculous. So first, favorite overall single bet.
My favorite bet is Jalen Hurts over 31.5 passing attempts. It's a little bit higher than his season average of 30.5. But if you look at any of the games where he was actually competitive, he hit that number with ease, landing closer to the 34 mark. He didn't hit this in the playoffs because they were all blowouts, right? And then it kind of ties into a little bit with his shoulder being bummed. He's still throwing, and it's not his throwing shoulder that's hurt. It's the other shoulder, the left shoulder. Well, why I think that we'll see a little bit more of the smaller, short, intermediate routes is because he uses his whole body to kind of wind up to go deep. So that's when it's really starting to hurt him. But he's gonna be able to hit these small passes with frequency. And then I do think that the Chiefs' defensive line is a little underrated. So Miles Sanders is gonna get his 12 carries, but they're still gonna have to move the chains. I think a big game out of Dallas Goedert too.
So game script wise, with your favorite bet being over passing attempts, not completions, right? Over passing attempts for Hurts. Is that game script in your mind what you believe is going to be happening? Is that them being down, so he's passing a lot more, or still them winning?
Close. I think it's going to be close.
So they need to pass to make sure even if they have a lead, they hold on to it.
Yes, I just think that Sirianni knows that you're playing against Mahomes, you're gonna have to keep throwing the ball. You're not gonna ice the clock. And we've seen it too many times. Teams that get up on the Chiefs and they just kind of shut down, and then all of a sudden, oh crap, the Chiefs won the game. You can't bleed the clock against a Chiefs team.
I got you. Now, man, I wish I asked you that because that's something I was leaning towards a little bit. I was leaning on the past attempts when I was building my $20 million prize picks, friggin' 6 picks and stuff like that. I don't know if you heard it earlier on the show. I don't know if you had it pulled up, but I pulled up I did literally the highest multiplier, highest wager amount on prize picks, underdog, and monkey knife fight for the Super Bowl. Went a little crazy. Completely horrible bankroll management. But I wish I was thinking about that one a little bit, but I mean, I could still put another play in there and throw the completions in there. But anyway, regardless, what's the dumbest thing you see as a bet that you believe people are betting on, or you seen people bet on?
The color of Rihanna's shoes. That one's without.
She's gonna have a costume change. What's the rules behind that? She's not gonna wear the same shoes the whole time.
And without like real intel, like what the hell are you betting? Like, why are you betting on that?
So slightly related. I was talking to my wife about this a couple of days ago. It was this is every single time. This has been going on for sportsbooks, I believe, for at least the last 4 or 5 years, probably longer than that. But that's only what I've been paying attention to is betting on the first song on their set list. Can you imagine being Rihanna's childhood friend and just texting her all the time, being like, "Hey, what song you gonna come out with?" And she tells you it's Umbrella, and then you bet plus 800 max bet Umbrella. Like I want to there's like only 2 people that I know that are not decently popular, but like probably like a C-list celebrity singer that I'm like, man, can we possibly increase their social standing so they can get up on the show so we can just max bet the first song? Like the sportsbooks have to know that Rihanna has friends.
Yeah, I think they set their liability to the point where because I did I max bet one of the songs for last year's Super Bowl, and the max wager was like $100. And then there'd be so many people. Yeah, there'd be so many people who are like betting just because. I think she comes out to "Bitch Better Have My Money," but that's just me.
Yeah, I was trying to think of her most popular song is that would make sense for an opening song, and I think she sold more Umbrella singles than anything else. I feel like that was pretty high up there, but that's not a Super Bowl. I mean, it's probably going to happen at some point, but I don't think that's like an opening one. But yeah, there's the research that we put into actual bets.
It's crazy.
There's still the research for ridiculous bets. What's the when it comes to the over under on how long the national anthem is? Okay, when they were doing their test runs, which I'm sure somewhere on social media, how long did they go? What's the wind like? Have they had a cold recently? There's so much crap that you can research that will help you with the most ridiculous vanity bets. Oh man. All right, Mr. B-Rad. Is there any other 2 cents you want to drop knowledge bomb wise on the people that are tuning in before we bring up Spike here next?
Yeah, I gave out this play. I haven't put it on Twitter yet, so I guess this will be an exclusive. I gave this out on another Discord.
Where's my alarm? I just need an alarm button. Exclusive with a little light flashing on the screen.
Yeah. Boston Scott longest rush under 5.5. And literally from the time that I was talking about it on the show, the line moved from -110 to -130. It's still available. He's going to be used in 3-yard play situations where the only way he gets is he busts a big one. But I think most of his utilization will be in the red zone, close to the goal line.
Yeah, so I was thinking, has he gotten a carry that wasn't already inside the 5 in the playoffs?
Yeah, no, he hasn't.
Yeah, so I mean that makes sense. All right, sir. Appreciate your time. As I don't think you heard before we brought you up that I'm slightly leaning towards the Eagles because we have that championship Eagles bet as part of our expert capper league thing that we're doing. That's why I'm slightly leaning them. So hey, maybe Alabama QB gets it this time, then a different Alabama QB gets it next year.
And Tua, yes.
Tua, baby. All right. Appreciate your time, Brad.
See ya, man.
All right, so we're going to bring up Spike here, and then I think we also have Larry that wants to jump in, but I don't see a mic or camera, so I don't know if Larry pieced out or not. If you did, Larry might need to back out, back in if you want to drop some knowledge on us. But let's bring up Spike here, drop his play, and then we'll probably wrap it up with Ben unless somebody else hops in here. Anybody else can hop in. This show, the concept of this show, the WAG show, which is going to be, like I said, as you see in the bottom right, weekdays, 3 p.m. Eastern time. So tomorrow, through Friday, next week, Monday through Friday, and so on and so forth. If you don't have to be like some crazy expert researcher. You don't have to do this as your part-time or full-time job. If you have a bet and you have a reason why you love the bet, and it's a decently solid reason, and you want to hop on the show and drop your 2 cents for everybody watching, just let me know in the chat and we'll pull you up. It's easy. It's that easy. Let me know. We got a few, probably like 10-ish more minutes left here, but let's get Spike up here. Mr. Spike!
What's going on, you?
Can you hear me okay, Mr. Spike?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, I can. So, let's just start off. Let's get right to it. Favorite overall bet, whether it's a player prop or a bet, a traditional bet. What is your favorite single bet for Super Bowl 57? 57, right? I think it's 57. Yeah.
I'm looking at Dallas Goddard over 4.5 receptions. He's Hurts' security blanket. I think the Chiefs are going to bring a lot of pressure to try and make him throw some bad balls. And he's just a big body overall. You also look at, A.J. Brown and I can't think of his name right now.
Devonta Smith?
Blanking me. Yeah, Devonta Smith. They're gonna acquire a lot of attention, so that's gonna leave him open over the middle a lot, I think.
With that 4.5 reception line that you like for Dallas, is that
it's on
with the game? Well, no, with the game script though, in your mind, is that with them leading? With them losing? Like, what is your game script that you believe that hits?
I think it's just going to be a back and forth game. Whether it's touchdown for a touchdown, field goal for a touchdown, so forth, so on. I just think there's going to be a lot of scoring, and both teams are going to throw the ball more than they run.
I got you. Now, is there any? So, what I've been asking, what I asked Johnny, and then what I asked Brad as well. Is there anything ridiculous that you've caught wind of that people are betting money on that you're like, why? Why are you lighting money on fire? Granted, gambling is essentially lighting money on fire, no matter how you look at it. But just something that's so dumb that you're like, why? Anything that pops up at you.
So I don't have sports books yet, so I haven't looked at any of that shenanigans. We're looking at hopefully in another month for Mass, but Prize Picks did add like another 6 or 7 ridiculous different props for you to bet on. Like passer rating, tackles for loss, third down conversions.
But you saw that I posted. Like, I love that passer rating one because no matter what happens in the game, I'm extremely confident that Mahomes is going to finish with at least a 101 passer rating, which is it's not crazy high. Like, crazy high is like 130 or 125 is crazy high. So the fact that he can just have a Mahomes level game, whether they win or lose, I feel like no. So you think passer rating is ridiculous prop?
Yeah, I mean, it was never offered before. This is just a Super Bowl special. So there's definitely ways to research these things, but
right,
it's just passer rating is probably the easiest one. But like tackles for loss or fourth down conversion, stuff like that, you're only going to have a certain amount of plays where those things can be achieved.
So speaking of tackles for loss, I did not put any tackles for loss in anything I've done. I haven't done anything defensive whatsoever in any of the props I've done. But food for thought. This is not my favorite prop or anything, but just on the topic of what Spike just said about tackles for loss. Frank Clark on Prize Picks is over under 0.5 tackles for loss. And I believe he's 4 sacks away, 3 or 4 sacks away from breaking the all-time playoffs sack record. So, granted, he's probably not going to get 4 sacks this game, but I feel that unless he knows he's going to retire, there's a chance he'll be back next year. So maybe in his mind, he's like, hey, I got 2 more chances to break this record. That is the only reason I would do any of the tackle for loss, just because there's underlying reason for. I mean, everybody's going to try as hard as they can, but there's a little more reason there, a little more narrative, if you will.
Yeah, I think like the fourth down conversion ones are pretty easy. You could probably just go ahead and hit the under on both teams, or hit the over, sorry, on both teams, because they're going to be going for it on fourth down. This is the last game of the year. Yeah. Not going to be holding anything back. Not going to be punting it on 4th and 2. So there's some advantages to it, but I think that just all those there is just another way for them to kind of either grab your money or lose their money.
All right. Do you have any other knowledge bombs or plays or picks or any other 2 cents you want to drop on these people before we bring Brent up here to close this out?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see anyone on this play. I was actually on it last week, and he just absolutely smashed it. But Marquise Valdez Scantling over 7 fantasy points. Um, I really like this because I think a lot of the attention is going to go to Kelsey and Juju, and they do a lot of things in that backfield. So all he's going to need is maybe 1 or 2 catches for that, and if one of them's a touchdown, then forget about it. But he's their
I'm
deep threat.
I'm going through
He's their
all of
deep
my
threat.
prop plays. It's like, do I have MVS under? Did I do the opposite of that? And I was like, nah.
I don't think so.
The only thing I had was on my the Prize Picks 6 pick with the free play, the free square. I had yards under for him and AJ Brown, but then again, he can still hit that same 2 points, and that prop still hit as well. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, no, I mean, he could easily just fall into the end zone, but he's their main deep threat in my opinion, and it's just going to take 1 or 2 catches for him to go over that. And if they, for some odd reason, target him in the red zone, it's going to be over right there and then. So, again, not a lot of people on it, but that's kind of my dark horse.
I got you. Let me see. So it looks like it's Keaton in chat said Eagles to convert 4th down in their territory plus 300. That's actually the first time I've seen that today. There's a handful of people that are on that. Eagles to convert 4th down their own territory. I don't know if it was like, I feel like it was on some popular podcast besides this one, like a Pat McAfee show kind of thing, because I've seen a lot of people say Eagles are converting, not just converting a 4th down, but in their own territory, which is pretty much when you go for it anyway. So it's kind of like a freebie. Like it probably added another plus 50 to the odds. I don't know. But yeah, I've seen that all over the place.
I like that because, like I said, I don't think there's going to be a lot of punts unless they're backed up behind their 20.
Right.
I mean, both teams are going to want to score right out the gate, and we've already seen it throughout the playoffs a lot. A lot of these teams, especially going against these teams, it'll be like 4th and 6. They're in field goal range, and they're like, no, we're just going to go for it. So I don't expect that to change much today. So I really like that.
All right. Well, Mr. Spike, thanks for joining us. And I'm sure we'll see you plenty on this show as we transition from Super Bowl Sunday into the regular Monday through Friday schedule, talking a lot about basketball and everything else going on in the sports world. Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern time, if I haven't drilled that home yet. All right, Spike, enjoy the Super Bowl. See you later, man.
See you.
All right, now we got Mr. Ben bringing his face back up here, spending about a half an hour just talking about AC's driving in the car, and then we'll get into Super Bowl stuff. Ben, did you miss us? Where you been?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just listening. Oh,
Austin.
right.
So Keaton. Okay, if you just heard earlier, so Keaton in chat said Eagles to convert 4th down their own territory plus 300, and I swear I've seen that a few times already. So I was just mentioning that maybe it was on like a massive, like a Pat McAfee show kind of thing. And then Austin just said in the chat that David put it in his Bet Karma article. And I was like, that's where it was.
Yeah.
I know I've seen that, but also I've seen that
say,
in non-Bet Karma stuff too.
I was going to say David was on that. So I like that. I like both teams to convert a 4th down. He was like plus 118. I like that as well.
I feel that
that's pretty good.
Plus 118.
The Eagles the Eagles are converting one. They go for it all the time. They, especially if it's like 4th and 1, they just they do the play where they push Jalen Hurts forward. Like they will convert a 4th down. It just comes down to the Chiefs, but we think the Eagles win. So assuming that the Chiefs are losing, I think at some point they will probably have to go for it on 4th down.
You can't have those odds right. You're saying somewhere around plus 118, and then the Eagles by themselves to convert in their own territory, which is more than likely where they're going to be going for it, is plus 300. I feel like you either have those odds wrong or that's a horrible bet.
It was plus 118, but in their own territory, that's on their own side of the field, though. So
is that traditionally speaking, just from the mathematical historical sense.
Like if you're in the red zone or something, like you would go for it. But the Eagles will go for it on their own side because if it's 4th and 1, they don't care. They just run that play and they get a 1st down.
That's what I'm saying. Let's say they're on their own 49-yard line. Like they're not gonna take a false start to punt it into the end zone. They're gonna, if it's like 4th and 1, 4th and 2, they're gonna be going for it.
The Chiefs actually don't like the Chiefs don't go for it very often. I feel like. Also,
yeah, I like that plus 300 more than the both one.
Yeah, I would rather bet that than like just both teams convert for the odds difference. But I don't know. In Ohio, it's kind of different with what they offer because it's relatively new. Like I can't bet on some stuff. Like certain things are not posted. Like I can't even bet on like the coin. Not that I would bet on the coin toss, but I'm just saying like I can't.
Yeah, so
I can't bet on it because
I haven't talked to you on a show since Ohio got legalized gambling. So how has your life changed?
It's good, dude. It's so nice. Oh my god,
he
it's
like
amazing.
he like throws up this gold chain that's got like a diamond medallion on it. Like, oh, it's been
Dude,
great.
It was
It's
so
been
annoying, bro.
great.
Like I don't know how every state doesn't have this. I really don't.
Yeah, Florida will be the last one. We're done. All right.
Yeah.
So now we can finally get to the grits and the gravy. Your number one overall favorite thing to wager on for Super Bowl 57. What is it?
Okay, so I was gonna say one, but I don't. The odds have changed. I don't love it. So I was gonna say Jerick McKinnon under 8.5 longest rush. So this was at 9.5 last night. It's down to 8.5. It's now minus 150. It was like minus 120 when I bet it. Now it's minus 150. So I still think you can bet it. I just like I don't like betting anything that's minus 150 personally on like a prop. But Pacheco's taken over, and if they're using McKinnon, if they're losing, it's going to be catching the football. Like my biggest bet for the Chiefs Bengals game was McKinnon under 25.5 rush yards, which was the number one play on our prop predictor as well. And he finished with like 1 rushing yard. Like he's not going to be out there getting carries. If they're giving him the ball, it's going to be catches. So I still like that. I don't like minus 150 a ton. It's probably going to go down even more, I think.
I'm hoping he only gets 2 catches because I have the under 3 in one of my big.
I like
30X.
McKinnon's unders on like everything today, so I think that's good. And then
it's
like
tricky
Miles
as well
Sanders
because he was literally like fired going into the playoffs. Like he was scoring like
I think
30 fantasy points or something.
Yeah, he was just in time to win people fantasy leagues and then fell off. But I was gonna say I like Miles Sanders anytime touchdown. It's plus 125 on FanDuel, but it's minus 105 on DraftKings. So if you're gonna bet it on FanDuel.
Yeah, I was looking at seeing if I wanted to do the touchdowns. To me are something that on Prize Picks and the prop sites that I have access to that have over-unders on touchdowns. I just can't do it. I am more inclined to do over-under interceptions than I am on touchdowns, because even if I go to like FanDuel Sportsbook and it'll have Travis Kelce probably like minus 110 anytime touchdown, even if it was like minus 500, I still feel that touchdowns, yes, they are predictable, but I feel like there's so many more stats that are not more of a guarantee to happen, but more likely to happen in my experience of playing props and everything, that I saw like your Miles Sanders plus Boston Scott over under half, and I looked at the odds, and Miles Sanders is the 4th best anytime touchdown. Boston Scott's near the bottom, not bottom, but like mid at like plus 500. He only gets the goal line carries anyway, so he's got that upside. But I just feel like I'm like, man, the one time that I put, and because I'm going heavy on Prize Picks and all these other sites, like the one time that I'm going to put in a touchdown thing, it's not going to happen. Like, oh yeah, of course Kelsey's going to score. He's their only scoring weapon. I put him in there and he gets like 600 yards receiving, 30 receptions and 0 touchdowns. That'll be my luck. So I haven't gravitated to anytime touchdown yet. I know there's tons of screenshots we've seen on the internet over the course of this NFL season with sports betting being so much more popular than it was last year. With more states and everything, that everybody's doing like the anytime touchdown parlays. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't think I'll ever get to that point. Who knows? But on the flip side, as soon as if your guy gets a carry in the first quarter, you win. So at 1 yard line, Miles Sanders goes in the end zone, that prop automatically hits. I don't know. There's too much risk there for my end.
Yeah, I understand that. I would say I think Miles Sanders is gonna have a really big game. So I know you need him under. One of us is going to have a good day because he either goes off and it's good for me, or he does nothing and that's good for you. So,
and then also
one of us will.
So if you don't like touchdowns, like I don't not like them. I just don't play them. Also look at fantasy points. I think Kelsey's like 17.5. He could go off for 7 catches and 90 yards, or maybe even 8 catches and 90 yards, which means both his yards and his receptions go hit. And he can still finish under the fantasy points as long as he stays out of the end zone. So I also look at that as well with my lack of interest in touchdowns. Like, how guaranteed is this guy to get a touchdown? No, cool. Go under on the yards, or under on the fantasy points. What is the most ridiculous thing you've seen so far?
Anyone betting Kadarius Toney MVP is just stupid.
So
that's probably
you remember that I do that postseason contest every year, right? Where you keep players and so I have.
Is this a James White story?
No, Well, I don't know.
Okay.
I have set myself up to potentially
Yeah, your team
cash,
is looking good. Your team's
but
looking good.
if I'm in 183rd place out of like 7,000 going into today, and I don't think there's enough variance for me to get first place or like a top 5, but I believe I can cash. But that being said, I had Tony last week or championship week, and of course he got hurt and got almost like one catch maybe, I don't know.
Yeah,
And
we bet him first touchdown, and he dropped
right.
the first touchdown and got hurt on the play. So it's just fantastic.
So I have him now at ×2. So I have a 2 times multiplier on him. So I have the option of, I believe, I mean, we can talk about fantasy sports now. It's fine. Let me bring up that roster. So I have him at ×2. If we think he's going to have a great game, of course, we can keep him in there for that ×2 multiplier. But if we don't think he's going to have a great game, and we think that even with him having a 2x multiplier, if maybe like an MVS is going to outscore him, even with a 1x multiplier MVS, like, do we go that route?
I prefer Tony's my favorite Chiefs receiver today, but if you were looking for, are you playing it to cash or to like try and get that like top 5? Because the only way I think that you could do that is if you'd have to use someone that could get 1 point, but also that no one's gonna own, which would be Sky Moore if you're picking a Chiefs guy.
So
like Sky Moore could get 1 point, or he also could. He's never scored a touchdown in his career, but he could score 2 touchdowns. Like he returns kicks, like he takes a kickback. They use him. Look, with no Hardman, Tony gets a lot of those like jet sweeps and stuff like in the red zone, but they can use Sky Moore for that as well. Like when they just bring the receiver around and hand it off to him, like that's Hardman, but he's out. So they've been giving it to Tony, but Sky Moore can do that as well.
All right, so I pull up on the screen here. So this is what we're talking about, the postseason thing. So you create a roster in the first week of the postseason, and you pick one player from each team. And because there's more teams than roster spots, there are some teams that you don't plug in. Like the Dolphins, I didn't plug in any Dolphins because we had our 5th string quarterback playing, and I didn't trust him. But so if they win and you put them in the roster again, they have a 2x multiplier. If you keep them in the roster again for the next round of the playoffs, they keep them in. So right now, the people that, of course, are not being moved from the roster, Jalen Hurts 4x. So this roster was created with the Super Bowl in mind. I'm like, the Chiefs and the Eagles are going to go to the Super Bowl, so let me plan ahead for that. So I made sure I have both quarterbacks because these 2 quarterbacks score more fantasy points than the receivers on their team, the running backs on the team on average. So I want to get the highest multiplier for them. Jalen Hurts 4x, Mahomes 4x, Sanders with a 2x, not changing that. Kelsey 3x, not changing that. Smith, so instead of going AJ Brown, which I felt like most people did in the same scenario, I went with Smith instead. So Smith has a 3x. So the 3 interchangeable people here, Mr. Ben Hostler, I have Tony with the 2x. And then I also have Pacheco with 1x. So the people I just added in is Pacheco and Dallas. The people available to me, I can swap out Dallas with AJ Brown, which I had originally, but I feel that I needed slightly less ownership, and I feel like more. Is it
1.5 for tight ends?
No, the scoring is the same.
Okay.
You make me question that. I'm pretty sure it's not.
I'm fine with Goddard over AJ Brown regardless, but I know sometimes, what's the other one? NFFC or something? Well, there's FFPC and NF.
This is the NFFC, not the FFPC.
Okay, the FFPC is always 1.5 for tight ends, but so I just didn't know. But.
So you like Dallas over AJ? Okay, so keep Dallas in there, keep Smith in there. So then we just have the 2 Kansas City players, Tony 2x and Pacheco 1x, and my options are Juju, McKinnon, and MVS pretty much. Or we can do Harrison Butker or Chiefs defense.
Yeah, I mean Tony definitely is my favorite Chiefs pass catcher. I like Pacheco.
So even if Tony had a 1x, you still like him over MVS and McKinnon and Juju, even with a 1x.
Yeah, and then the only thing I would say would be interesting is to maybe use a kicker, because I don't know what. Let me check here.
You think Harrison Butker over Pacheco.
I mean, anything. What if they kick 4 field goals? Like, you know.
But yeah, but Pacheco, what if he
'Cause
gets one touchdown? That's
right. But no one's playing the kickers, in my opinion. Like, I doubt anyone has, like, if what you're saying is true, like, you're trying to make up ground, like, who's playing kickers? Probably nobody.
what is Pacheco's
His
fantasy
kicking
point?
points, like, over under, like, 7.5, I thought, or something. And I can't find it.
Let me see fantasy point line for Pacheco. He's
I wouldn't
11.5.
move. I probably just wouldn't move off Pacheco or Tony, though, and I would just rock it out. And then
So price
you're
pick, I
gonna.
just pulled the
I feel
price
like
picks
you're gonna
line.
win. What? How many people cash the contest? Top 75 or something?
Hold on, let me.
Because if you have both quarterbacks 4x, like, I feel like you're cashing this regardless.
If all touchdowns are just quarterback dives at the 1 yard line, then yes, I'll do very, very well.
Do a lot of people have both quarterbacks 4x though?
No.
Yeah, you're gonna cash. I feel like you're gonna cash. If it's not like if you don't have to gain if you only have to gain like 60 spots, I feel like you're cashing with the quarterbacks at 4x.
Let me
So
see.
it's just gonna depend how far you can get up. But I don't. You'd have to go through and look at all these teams above me.
I can't even find the freaking rules. I was like trying to pull up the rules. I don't even know where they're at. I don't know. It's somewhere.
I'd probably just leave what you have, though, to be honest. Also, I want to ask you, are you going to tilt? I have exposure, like, not like that. I'm talking like 0.25 units, but just for fun on first touchdown scores, like the long shots. I have one on Jody Fortson. Are you going to tilt if he scores a touchdown? He has 14 career receptions, and 4 of them are touchdowns.
It doesn't matter if he scores a touchdown if he catches the ball. So let's say it's a 2-yard pass and he catches the ball on the 1, I still lose. Or if he like gets
That's
like
what I'm
knocked out
saying. Are
before
you
the
going to
pylon.
tilt if he like catches like a 2-yard
Well, yeah,
touchdown?
because that both of my mega plays on freaking prize picks are automatic. They're not dead because there's flexes.
I do think though what could happen here though is we know the Chiefs like to run those weird wacky plays. I could see a situation where I know they normally give it to Kelsey, but it's the Chiefs that do random things all the time. Like they come out and spin around and then run to the line and run their play. So there could be a situation where Jody Fortson
and that's where
gets
Noah
some
Gray gets
sort
the
of
touchdown.
Yeah, Noah Gray or Jody Fortson could get some sort of like rushing touchdown or something, or like direct snap to them. Like they could do something crazy. So I do think that's possible as well.
I hate that you are thinking. No, I hate that.
Dude, they nuked the dude. They I think they lost so much money on first touchdown scores when sports betting first went live. They nuke the line so bad. Like it's not even like there's no value in even betting these, you know. So you basically have to take Jody Fortson or like Zach Pascal if you want any sort of value on a first touchdown bet because they just kill these lines. It's insane.
Nah, it's gonna be Noah. If anybody gets a touchdown,
yeah,
it's gonna be Noah.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, it could happen as well.
All right. So this actually lasted over an hour, which I'm surprised because I can barely sit up without
I was going to ask how your back
internally.
is. Travis is bringing you these winners injured,
severely injured. So for anybody who's still watching, here's a little knowledge bomb, a little nugget, if you will. In 2017, I completely severely herniated 2 of my lower discs in my back, and it was horrible. And I, of course, had permanent back damage ever since. Yesterday, I'm home alone, and I'm carrying a pretty decently heavy plate, like a ceramic plate, to the kitchen, and I just sneeze while carrying this plate. So because I sneezed, and I have very aggressive sneezes, I held the plate up to like make sure I didn't drop the plate just during the sneeze, and how my spine and my body was by holding this decently weighted plate up, I like herniated these 2 discs in my back where I didn't fall to the ground, like break the plate, but I collapsed to the ground because the pain was so bad. And I was in my bed for 24 hours after that, taking meds and ice pack and heating blankets and everything in between. I currently have this pillow here, and I have an overnight Amazon shipment back brace belt on right now, and now I'm trying to figure out. I have a sports betting conference to go to on Wednesday.
Bro. How
And I'm
long of
like,
a flight is that?
like 4.5 hours maybe. Five,
God.
5.5 depending. 4 to 5. Anyway, but yeah. So I was like, I can't. I've been waiting for the sports betting conference since the last one in like July. Like I love going to these. It's great, not just for business, but I just also enjoy them. And now I literally can't stand up without this cane next to me, so I don't apply any pressure onto my back while standing up or sitting down. And I'm like, man. And then I like, anyway. Well, that's enough talking about my injured back. We will see if I have to go to the urgent care tomorrow. If it doesn't improve whatsoever, I'm gonna have to. But like, all they're gonna do is hit me with like a steroid or like a shot of cortisone or something like that. They're not.
Yeah,
They can't.
they'll shoot you up. But...
Yeah, that's all that's gonna happen. I'm on the injured list, Mark says, and I'm still got the true dedication. I was literally saying
some people
this is
just
only
want it more.
30,
I mean,
this is only going to be 30 minutes long, and it's been an hour because we want to make sure we get you guys all the bets and the prompts possible. If you tune in late and you're like, hey, what did you say at the beginning? Good news is we still have a few hours here till the Super Bowl starts.
Yeah, if you want all of my bets, you can sign. You still have time to sign up too. Let me see. I posted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I posted like 12 or 13 bets in our Discord.
And yeah, so if you want to see all of the props that I've dropped for the premium members of the community, those are in the Discord. You can sign up for Bet Karma Premium to get that. But keep in mind, this is not a Super Bowl only show. This is just episode 1. We wanted to launch on the Super Bowl, kind of like a big shebang. Tomorrow and every weekday till Kingdom Come, this show will be live in the same exact place you're watching it right now, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, Mondays through Fridays, aka weekdays. More than likely focusing on NBA with some college basketball sprinkled in there, but of course Johnny being a huge college baseball fan as well, college baseball capper, that once that season starts next week, he'll be talking about a lot of that as well.
I'm like ramping up my college basketball stuff now too, so that's what
Melissa says I have 2
really
herniated discs, also due to a work injury, still in pain after injections and an operation back in April. It's been over 3 years. I literally feel your pain. See, Melissa gets me.
Wow.
And it's like, oh my gosh,
that's insane.
I don't know what to do. I'm a mess. Like I would keep it live, and
sneezing is.
So I think if I didn't have that play, if I wasn't holding anything up when I sneeze, because I have very aggressive sneezes. My wife hates my sneezes. They are super aggressive, super angry sneezes. If I wasn't holding anything with weight like that plate, I don't think I would have had. I don't think my body position.
You didn't feel this coming at all. Like it just.
I sneezed, boom. And then I felt exactly what I felt on July 20th, 2017, which is when I had the accident. And I was by myself, and I just let out a. I just like.
Do you wish you just like dropped the plate, like just threw it and then sneezed?
I mean, if I could go back and I knew that sneeze was coming, I knew this was going to happen, then yes,
100%.
I just trashed the plate on the ground. Mark says, will these streams all be led by you, or other members of Bet Karma family be leading these also? So me, as long as I am available, but like this coming week, or this week technically, I'm going to be going to Vegas for the sports betting conference Wednesday through Saturday. So Ben is going to be leading anytime that I'm not available. But even when I'm doing it, Ben's still going to be one of the prominent faces on here. Melissa said, I re-aggravated my back several times with the slightest movement. So I have been very good over the last 5.5 years not to do anything stupid. Like if I know if it's heavier than 35 to 40 pounds, I don't even blink at it. I'm like, nope, not even going to get close to it. Or I'll get some like help with it or something like that, just because I know I don't want to re-aggravate it because it's so horrible. But sitting through this hour and 8-minute show has been very, very painful, but I was in the moment. And so now that I'm slowly getting out of the moment, about to wrap it up, all of that adrenaline from doing the show is gone. I'm like, oh Lord, take me now. Help. I'm gonna be like, I don't even know how to oh man, this is gonna be nuts. Anyway, I'll keep you guys posted in our Discord if I die or not. Who knows? Maybe I won't even make it. Maybe I won't even make it to urgent care. Maybe my back will just shut me down completely. But yeah, so good luck, everybody. If you do hit with anything that was dropped on this show, or anything that was dropped for our premium or in the free channels of Discord, make sure you guys let us know about it. Either drop those in the winning screenshots channel in Discord once they become winners, or if you don't even know about Discord or don't have any interest in getting in that Discord, first off, you're crazy. Secondly, throw it up on Twitter if you have one, and tag the Bet Karma account at BET_Karma, and we'll see it there. But that's it, kids. We did a lot of stuff here. I thought that was gonna be very short, but we got a lot of people up. Talked about a lot of things. But yeah, so go Eagles because we won a championship ring. And go my props because I feel like even though I can't breathe without being in pain, having an extra $40,000 from Prize Picks Monkey Knife Underdog makes it a little bit easier. Makes the pain a little bit easier to deal with. So we'll see what happens. But enjoy Super Bowl. Hopefully it's a great game, and I cannot wait for these commercials because I've already seen
Breaking Bad one's elite, bro.
Oh man, I've avoided watching all the commercials.
Okay, it's
but
so
I
good.
just know about them, and I know I'm
It's
looking
so
to look
good.
forward to them.
I love it.
All right, kids. Good luck. We'll see you guys tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern Time for another WAG Show, episode number Deuce 2. Zwei. Zwei is 2 in German. Yes. All right. See you guys.